everybody, welcome to the next episode of Sport Port. So first, we're just going to go right off of our picks last night. 1 for 3, so bad. Any time that we don't go positive, or at least 50-50 is just bad. So Celtics -2.5 did hit, but our player props did not. We are probably going to avoid those a little bit more when it comes to basketball for now. I will definitely start to get more into them. I really like doing them. I'm actually having a lot of fun watching basketball right now, but just we're not at the level yet that we should be making those bets on this channel at least. So we're going to stray away from those a little bit. We've been correct on our game spreads, not the over-under, but the game spreads itself twice, so that's good. But probably just going to stay away from those player props. Like I said, 0 for 2 on player props last night. That's just awful. So not doing that anymore, but just wanted to touch on that before we get into the video here. And that's these. Saturdays we do player props, and this is the only game script that I can really get behind here. I mean, I look at some of these other ones, like Browns, Ravens. I don't know exactly what's going to happen there. Falcons, Bengals, Lions, Cowboys, Packers, Commanders. Like, the only one that I was looking at was like Buccaneers should blow out the Panthers, right? But even then, the Panthers could have 50 passing attempts. DJ Moore could have 20 targets, but 15 of them went over his head, so it doesn't matter, and he ends up with, 20 yards. So, and then the Buccaneers, they could be beating them so bad, they don't even have, Fournette in there to run it. They put in Rachaad White. So, just hard to tell there. Giants, Jaguars, Colts, Titans. The only one that I found that I liked is the Sunday night game, and that's Steelers at Dolphins. So I just think this is going to be a very pass-heavy game. So I like Tua, Hill, and Waddle all on their overs, because if Hill and Waddle, I originally started with Hill and Waddle, I could see both going over. So then I'm like, okay, if they both go over, Tua should hit his over. This is all also Tua not getting injured. At the time that he did get injured, the really bad concussion, we had a bet on him, and if the bet doesn't go through, the bet doesn't go through. It sucks when players get injured, and that is obviously the more important thing there. So obviously I hope for his health in general that does not happen, but hopefully they're being safe about it. I have faith in him this weekend, so I like all those. And just with it being a pass-heavy game, where I think the Steelers might be able to stay in it a bit, we're going to have Najee Harris under his rushing yards and Raheem Mostert under his rushing yards. Just think there's going to be a lot of passing this game. So why would I take those? And the main things that I'm thinking, though, is the Tua, Hill, Waddle, and Harris. Mostert's in there. That's my least confident of those picks, but still wanted to put him in there just because if we think the passing game is going to be that good, then Raheem Mostert probably should not, hit that level of rushing there. And he has hit it in 2 of the last 5 games. He's averaging 58.6, so we're not seeing anything too crazy here, and I'm not insanely worried about that. So, as I said, we like to do game scripts here. We like to look at a game where we're like, this is going to be very pass-heavy, and take multiple players within that game that are involved in the passing game or rushing game in the over and under portions. But that is the only one that I can really look at and be like, this is what I think is going to happen, and say it with some confidence. There is not a single other one where I can see that. But there are 2 solo picks that I like, and that is Kenneth Walker and Dameon Pierce. They both have been looking absolutely amazing these last few weeks. 67.5 for each of them isn't that crazy at all. I think the Seahawks will be able to keep up with the Chargers. I think the Texans won't get crushed by the Raiders. Texans have a decent defense. They're hanging in a lot of games. So Texans, Raiders, I think they'll be able to run it enough to where Dameon Pierce hits this number. So those are my 2 confident picks for the solos, because let's say you don't like the Harris one, right? You still have to take, you can't just take Dolphins players. It won't let you. So you take, you're confident in the Tua one, so you take Tua and Hill and Dameon Pierce. That way to let you. But as I always say, I do recommend if you're going to do a 5-leg parlay, do it off a game script. I do not recommend 5-leg parlays. If it was me, I would take Tua and Dameon Pierce or Hill and Walker, right? Maybe you take like Tua, Hill, and Walker. But even then, I don't even like getting into the 3-leg stuff. But these are my picks. Do with them as you please. Just know that is how I would do it myself. The max that I would go here is a 3-leg parlay off of this. So there's the player props, not a ton to go through because as I said, there just wasn't a ton that I liked here except for those. But we can go in. These are from the other video where I went through and I made the picks. You're free to pause it and take a look, but I just wanted to retouch on this. These are safety net picks. These are our very confident picks. We are 10-1 in the last 2 weeks on these, which is great. I am a huge fan of the way we've been doing this and the way we would do it. If I haven't said before, or if you haven't seen before, because I know I've said it, we take a pick that we're confident in, which is what we are doing over here. We look at this, we make our guesses, see what I'm close to, and if I'm really far away on something, I might be like, okay, I kind of like that one, and then I go back in, I'm like, okay, I already like the Colts at the spread Vegas is giving me, let's add points to it. So you take the game you're already confident in, buy points to bring it more in the direction that you want. So I believe it went from plus 2.5 to plus 7.5. We took it. So, and then same with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are like minus 13. We buy points at minus 6.5. And obviously these spreads are big, so we are not getting the best odds on it. So we're getting minus 265 on the Colts, for instance. You have to bet $265 to get 100 back. So you take 2 of these, match them together, and then it comes out to like minus 119 or so, which isn't bad at all. Bet 100, you're going to get like $83 or something like that. So I would take, Colts and Jets or Buccaneers and Colts. Just mix 2 of these together to get those odds up in a 2-leg parlay, and then boom, you're good to go. We missed one last week, and that was on the Buccaneers against the Steelers. But I'm not worried about it this week because, as I said, they should beat the Panthers by 30. But it's one of those things, you take it just to be safe. Because in these last 2 weeks, if we didn't buy points the way we did, and we just made the picks straight up how they give us the spread in the first place, we aren't even close to 10-1. That's why we buy these points and mix them together. So, nothing too crazy to talk about today. I'll be coming out with a few TikToks about all this stuff tonight, tomorrow. But these are the picks for Sunday on the spreads, and these are the picks for tomorrow, Sunday, on the player props. And usually there's a couple more, but we really like these ones, and as I said, don't recommend a 5-leg parlay. It's not my job to tell you what to do with your money, but these are the picks that I like, and you could make it one if you wanted to, just not recommended. So, thanks to anybody who stopped by. I do very much appreciate it. I will be coming out. You can follow TikTok, and I will be uploading there a bit, going over some of the picks and that. But I appreciate anybody who stopped by, and good luck tomorrow on any of your bets, and I will see you guys on Monday.